Hello and welcome to Funny Science Fiction, the live edition.
Sorry,
That's right. It's a danceable song. What can I say? So welcome to Funny Science Fiction. That's right, the live edition. The show where I did this last week too, if I remember correctly. My tongue was tied at the start of our last live. The podcast where Power Rangers ride motorbikes to work. But then again, maybe they always rode them to work. You know, what do I know? So, that might have been funnier on a one single pass, not a let me back up and try this again. And
you did your best.
I did my best. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, let's see. We've got a comment already from Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Jason.
So before we get into good dad joke, Tim. Nice. So before we get into tonight's entertainment, we of course want to take a quick moment to thank our show partners and really for everything that they do for us. And then there's John speaking some Gaelic at us.
I'm sure he just Googled, translated, and copy and pasted.
Well, sláinte, and I can pronounce the other word. I'm not so much. So sláinte, I know what that means. I got that much Irish going for me. So, all right, but like I said, we have a couple of quick videos that we want to play to thank our show partners. So first off, Level Up Lightsabers. All right, that video is so cool. Every time it's done, I'm like, oh,
lightsabers! Sorry.
I need a lightsaber. I need to go smack something with a lightsaber. Seriously, and I know that, and Alan will talk about this. He says that his selling tool is to say that it's better than a stick, and it really is. But
so much better than a stick.
Good evening, Stories by Darksaber. Hello, welcome to the broadcast. And now, quickly, our second video is from River City Tea. With over 700 designs to choose from, River City Tees has something for everyone. Need some new nerd merch? River City Tees has you covered. Need funny or sarcastic designs? River City Tees has you covered. Are you looking for a new logo or custom design? Whether you need 1 or 100, River City Tees has you covered. With multiple colors and options for each and every design. With things to choose from like shirts, hoodies, phone cases, coffee mugs, and so much more. Be sure to follow River City Tees on Facebook and Instagram. If you do, you'll get the latest on designs and information about upcoming sales. River City Tees. Let's make a shirt together.
It's such a sweet commercial.
John says River City Tees excels at sarcasm. Aw, John.
There's such a comforting, calming voice in that commercial too.
Well, every once in a while. And Alan was talking. Drayton was talking about the Level Up Lightsabers video, and yes, that's a pretty cool video. The special effects in that are awesome. And since we're talking, Level Up Lightsabers and special effects in the video and everything, let's bring in one of the stars of the video. Alan, welcome to the show.
He's back.
I'm back.
He's back for the attack.
Welcome.
All right. Well, we have a couple minutes here before Anna's still working up everything and getting her setup going. So as she's doing that, tell everybody a little bit about Level Up Lightsabers and why we got started with a cool lightsaber.
Well, and a fun thing about the video that you guys just shared, and I don't think we talked about this when I sat down with you guys. I was not originally supposed to be in the film. So I worked out the choreography. We had a couple of a few people that we paid to help put that together. People that were we'll go with more ready for video than me. Just say it like that. But one of the things that we discovered when we started shooting that we did not discover in the process of doing the choreography is that the hood makes it really hard. Because if you're the hooded person, you have to do your choreography and you can't see. And, you know, we had a limited amount of prep time and some other things like that. And then had to swap me in because our original person, and he did an awesome job working on the choreography and everything else, but he's not a martial artist. That wasn't, you know, something that he brought in. He was a connection that we had. And so then day of shooting, we ran into that problem and there wasn't a way to solve it. And there wasn't a way to not be shooting that day. And so I put on the robe and I was in my own commercial, which in hindsight, maybe I should have planned for in the first place, but
you pulled it off well.
And the beard helps, right?
And the special effects in that video are awesome. Every time I watch it, I get little goose pimples on my arm, and I'm like, "Whoo, I gotta go smack something with a stick." So,
and even if you're blind, you just got to use the force.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
there's a strong notion of blind sportsmen being awesome.
All right, and so real quick before we bring Anna in, just also want to highlight one quick thing. I have it highlighted on the screen here. So Mick Manhattan runs the Scene Snobs Network. Tonight is our maiden voyage on the Scene Snobs Network. We have been an independent podcasting group up until this point, but tonight we take the voyage forward with Scene Snobs. I've been with them on my other show, focused on Forward, and it's been a really good experience for us.
We will try to make it so they don't regret letting us in.
We make no promises.
I will try my best.
Aw, the Scene Snobs. I get goose pimples when I listen to the funny scene. Aw.
We love you guys.
I'm getting verklempt. All right. So
Tim's using big words. Oh.
Yeah, it was on the calendar today, so you know.
Oh, is that your word of the day?
All right, so I think we have Anna ready.
She good?
And let's bring her in. Hello, Anna.
Hello, Tim. Hi, everybody. What's going on?
Welcome to our madness. That was. So if you're,
I'm Anna.
Welcome back, Anna.
So sorry I'm late. I had technical difficulties.
I hate it when that happens.
But I have the proper mug.
There you go.
Yay.
Wonderful. I always appreciate a good plug. Well done. So
No, thanks for the mug. I feel like I got 4 out of 5 right last time I was on the show. So right, it was like
there you go.
Just barely passed. What's going on?
So hey, we're so glad to have you here. So guys, if you're not familiar with Anna Graves, you definitely need to be, because if you've watched Star Wars Clone Wars, you've heard her voice. If you've watched Rebels, you've heard her voice. If you've watched Voltron, you have heard Anna Graves' voice. If you've played any video game over the last decade, there's a good chance Anna Graves was in it. Trust me, I know that experience, because when I got to her IMDb page, I was like, oh crap, she was in that too. So
Thank you.
Yeah. So
and
if
you don't know her, then watch our episode from last week.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, on May the 4th, we had Anna Graves on our you know what? I cannot talk tonight.
And yet you're doing a lot of it.
And yet I'm doing a lot of it on a live show. So this isn't a problem at all.
That's it. Go
We're
home.
fine.
AKA
We're all
walk
fine
through that
here.
door behind you.
Nothing
All right.
to see here. This is completely normal.
So welcome to the show, Anna and Alan. All right. So
Awesome to be back.
yeah, we're actually glad to have both you guys here tonight. Very excited about both you guys. Alan has some super cool lightsabers. He runs a company called Level Up Lightsaber, and hopefully you got a chance to see the video in the beginning. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. I know I've said it twice already, but I want to go whack something with a stick now, just because.
I found out over the weekend. Did you know if you spend 30 minutes hitting something with a lightsaber, your Fitbit thinks you're exercising?
Oh, ooh.
That's fantastic, and we're gonna try that out.
Mine tried to tell me I needed to get up and move yesterday while I was installing a washer. So
You might want to have that checked.
Mine's just retarded, apparently.
It could be. All right. So tonight's show, we're going to talk a little bit about vacations, because since 2020, of April of 2020, there hasn't been a lot of vacations for a lot of people. because of that whole, pandemic thing going around.
There was a pandemic?
Yeah, I know, right? Who knew? So I thought what we would talk about tonight is a hypothetical vacation that we could all take to our favorite Star Wars destination. Ooh. Or maybe it's not even your favorite Star Wars destination. Maybe it's just a destination in Star Wars, and you have a reason for wanting to go there. So here's what we're going to do. Alan, we're going to start with you.
Ooh, I get to open?
You get to open. You're welcome.
Okay. All right.
So
all the pressure.
Appreciate that.
So no pressure whatsoever, but you're setting the bar.
Okay.
So
way better to set than to have to clear. So I'm good with this. This is good.
There you go. All
Just
right.
set it
So
low for the rest of us.
What I would like you guys to do is tell us where you're going to go in the Star Wars universe, what hero you would take with you, and why, what villain or bounty hunter you would take with you, and why, and is there a droid or a pet that you would want to take from the Star Wars universe to assist you in your travels?
I spent a lot of time thinking about this as you sent it to me earlier today, and I have been like running through permutations since then. And like the destination, especially if we sort of keep it to like what has been in visual canon, destination was a lot harder than I was prepared for it to be. Because there are just so many options where it's like, well, that would suck. But so I think I would vote Naboo. That would be where I would want to go, because you got like, it's a planet that has like more than one climate.
Okay.
So you have some options. They're like mix of civilization, scenery, relaxation time, urban, etc. Like Coruscant is basically like the most dense parts of Tokyo across an entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a lot for a vacation for me. That wouldn't work for me. And so like Naboo, hero, I think there are lots of good answers to this, but it seems like Lando is probably the best one. Like,
okay, why?
If you're going to have anybody be sort of a drinking and partying buddy, like Lando is the person that seems to have like the most effective work-life balance, which is one of the hard parts of picking a villain. Because imagining a lot of Star Wars villains outside of being an evil villain is really hard. Like, you don't imagine like Palpatine kicking back and sipping his coffee slowly over a newspaper. Like,
I envision him brooding over it.
Right, and like, and he also like, it's everything about Palpatine suggests that like in his free time he's in a volcano lair with a pet cat. Like, ways to be evil rather than unwinding. Right. And so the villain was actually pretty easy for me because I kept going like, oh no, and I landed on Thrawn.
Okay.
One of the aspects of Thrawn is appreciating art and spending a lot of time doing that and being very thoughtful. And so while like pretty much every Star Wars villain is somebody that you can point at and be like, yeah, but they committed lots of war crimes. And, that's sort of an unavoidable aspect of it. But Thrawn seemed like the one that might be the most interesting to sort of have the opportunity to get to know outside of work.
Okay.
Right. And so where are we now? So we're Naboo with Lando and Thrawn and Lando because the drinking and the gambling thing, not exactly my thing, but he seems like there's more to him than that and is a very sociable person and everything else. It'd be really easy to just sort of ride that coattail.
I really think Lando and Thrawn would have a very good, like, rapport with each other kind of thing.
It's a nice yin and yang, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then the droid is hard because you have a lot of very murderous droids as options. The Chopper has the highest body count in Star Wars, I think. Like, then you have other people that would be really difficult to like be around. Like, you'd be trying to dodge them the entire time. I love 3PO as a character. I don't think I would love hanging out with 3PO.
No.
it seems like a struggle. And so I actually landed on from the recent Cal Kestis story, the video game. I think BD1 is the answer.
All right, I like BD1. He's fun.
I think he's a good answer.
All right.
Almost like he can ride with you, so you don't have to worry about him managing stairs and other stuff like that. So there we go. Naboo with Lando, Thrawn, and BD1.
All right.
I
actually like all of those answers. Of course, Drayton Allen, the founder of our Funny Science Fiction Facebook group, said that if you're going to go to Naboo, you automatically get Jar Jar. So there is that.
Jar Jar is a hero of the people. We'd be drinking for free. I'm good with that. That's fine.
And Savannah Albrecht says hi to Anna. She's a huge fan.
Hey,
But yeah, all right. So Anna,
yes, Tim.
where would you take your vacation?
Master Allen, you have set the bar high. Yeah, that was good. And I saw someone in the chat say camping on indoor, and I had thought of indoor because that's my speed, the redwoods. But because it has been a long year, and because I have been without so many people, and because my last joyous vacation of 2019 was thankfully and most appreciated Tokyo, I have chosen Coruscant as my destination because I figure if anybody's going to have a huge variety of places to go, places to eat, theme parks, if Disneyland exists, it will be on Coruscant. And while I am on Coruscant, of course, I would want Obi-Wan Kenobi with me just because I really like him. He has that certain je ne sais quoi for a Jedi. And then I thought, that would be fun to have Maul along, but what a pain in the butt. So for my villain, I chose Boba Fett because he's amazing. And not just because of that. I feel like Boba Fett is one of those bounty hunters that could be on your side if you needed an extra gun, if you needed an extra hand. He could come in super handy, pun intended. And that would be amazing. And then, of course, I wanted R2, but because I'm on Coruscant, I would like 3PO because he speaks so many languages, and that will keep me in constant conversation with people from all over different destinations. They've all come to Coruscant for the exact same reason that I have, and I didn't have time to learn that many languages, so I have my 3PO.
Okay.
That is brilliant.
Solid roster.
Yeah, it's a solid roster. I agree with that. So we're Coruscant with Obi, Boba, and 3PO. Correct?
I like it.
All right. That's a very solid selection set. All right, Nick.
So it's not been explored specifically in canon yet, but it has been mentioned in canon, and it would be Ardinia. It is the planet where the Ardinians come from. It was the four-armed ape guy from Solo.
Okay.
From what I recall, they have really good tasting food there. And they're more culturally of a people kind of thing. And the hero I would take would be Ahsoka. And then the villain I would take would be Darth Vader. Because we know that Anakin has raised Ahsoka, and I think having that time for them to almost reconcile in a way, or even I think would almost be entertaining.
She get her flyboy back.
And the droid I would take would be Chomper.
Okay.
Because Chomper is just a hilarious robot. He's a pain in the butt, but he's going to get you out of a lot of scraps.
All right.
I like it.
Solid. Okay, so we've got Ardinia, you said?
Mm-hmm.
With Ahsoka, Vader, and Chomper. Okay. All right, Kathleen.
8-course
This is
meal.
where the curveballs start getting thrown.
All right. We like
I did
curveballs.
choose Endor because the idea of camping in the woods sounds fantastic to me.
Clearly, you have not played Battlefront 2.
I have not. I have not.
There are
Plus-
some murderous teddy bears on that.
I have a soft spot for Ewoks. Ewoks are adorable.
Ewoks
and
think you have a soft spot too. I just want to put. That
I
out
feel
there.
like I could actually befriend them. But I'm taking Jyn Urso with me because she's handy. She would know how to help. The villain / bounty hunter, I went with Mando. I went with Din Djarin.
Okay.
In a secret hope that Baby Yoda would be with him.
Solid reason.
Right. Besides the fact that then he would be able to protect me from these scary Ewoks if they decided to be scary. Yeah.
Your husband thinks that
Nice.
it'd be great for Ewok hunting.
My husband's a disturbed man. And since you said droid or pet,
Mm-hmm.
here's the major curveball: is I'm taking Jar Jar as a pet.
Is he a pet though?
For the comedic aspect of him. Tim's like, no, why would you ever take... And then if the Ewoks decide that they're hungry, they can have a Jar Jar.
Oh, ouch.
Wow, sacrificial animal. Okay.
Well,
All
I
right.
mean, okay, so it's either Ewoks eat me and Jyn Urso and Din Djarin, or we just have to run faster than Jar Jar.
I mean, if you're Urso and Djarin, I like your odds though. Like
Right.
that's
Yeah, your chances of survival are pretty high, I would think.
They are. They are. As long as they don't leave me behind, I just have to run faster than Jar Jar.
All right.
Solid strategy.
So let's catch up on some quick comments real quick. So Travis Foley said that he'd like to see a conversation between Enfys Nest and Dryden Lost. I think that actually would be kind of a cool thing. He said that the conversation would be awesome. Let's see. Stories by Darksaber Light wants to see Alderaan with Leia, who can show off the sights, and Suji the Bounty Hunter with the most honor with Chopper. That's actually a pretty solid pick as well.
That's a 2 votes Chopper, I believe.
I didn't put Alderaan on my list, and I like that seems like it would be a really solid option as well, like the nice kind of mix of.
So many different destinations to go to.
Oh yeah.
Well, so one part over in this part of the universe. When are we talking about Alderaan? Let's see. Travis Foley also wants to include K2SO. He said that's actually a really solid choice.
Yeah.
And then also, let's see. Did I skip one? Oh, well, I did, but because it kind of goes with mine, so I'll bring this comment in just a moment. So when I thought about my Star Wars vacation, I'm undecided between two separate destinations. The first one, I always have liked the destination of Felucia. Because all the bright colors and all the warm tropical climate, everything about that. I remember playing that in Force Unleashed, and I always thought that world was so cool. And then of course we saw it, in Star Wars Episode 3 when Order 66 was executed. So, A, Felucia. And then B, on the opposite side of the spectrum, Mustafar. And the reason for Mustafar is if I'm going on vacation, I like to be left alone. I don't want to be around people. And nobody's going to come bother me on Mustafar.
You would have accomplished that.
Now, the irony of both of these destinations for me is I like my temperature about 70 to 75 degrees and not humid. So I don't really know why.
Born it hard.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I humid on Mustafar.
No, but it was just
Mustafar
god awful
definitely
warm. Not humid, but it'd be god awful warm. So I don't know why I'm even looking at either of those two. But I'd probably lean more towards Felucia just because A, it's prettier, and B, less chance of me or my friends falling into lava. So. The whole bring Frodo to the mountain thing, we're going to stay away from that.
So
We'll just maintain the high ground, Tim. We're fine.
well, right. All right. So for my hero, not that it should surprise anybody, but it's Han Solo. It's shock and awe. It's always Han Solo. It will always be Han Solo. That's a thing. It's going to happen. And then for my villain, he's not really a villain, but he's not really a good guy. I like Hondo from Rebels. And, the thing I like about Hondo is that he's one of those guys that's good in a fight or good in yes, he looks out for himself first and foremost, but there's always a way for it always to work out for the whole team. So if something bad goes down, Han does things on, by the seat of his pants and always works out. Maybe not the best, but it always works out. It's kind of there. And same with Hondo. And then as far as my android that I would take with me, Travis Foley already said it. I love K2SO. I think he's hysterical. I'm a hugely sarcastic person. And one of the first things I remember about K2SO was him choke slamming Jyn Erso and congratulating her on being rescued.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations, you have been rescued.
Of droids, he is my favorite.
Yeah. So for me, I think that's kind of so Felucia, Han Solo, Hondo, and K2SO.
Nice.
And I have apparently, other than Felucia, I have a thing with things that end with O tonight. I just realized that as I was saying it. I'm like, Solo, Hondo, SO. All right, so.
See, I love that nobody chose Hoth.
Well,
That was a shock, right?
one person did.
Unless
Drayton
I have
did.
that sleeping bag.
Right?
In the comments, Drayton said, dinner on Hoth, frozen dinners again.
I mean, from what I've seen on River City Tees, there is a nice ski lodge there.
There is, yes. Let's see, and I'm Grimsculpt, so they don't eat Jar Jar, they just give him back.
Oh.
It happens.
Can I just say I am really surprised that nobody went with the Kishik Chewbacca stack. I really thought we were going to get at least one person.
I thought about it
Like, that
very
was
early on.
very close to like the base of my construct.
The only thing I worry about Kashyyyk, along with I also have a worry about this with Felucia, is I tend to think I'm hoping that there's no mosquitoes in the Star Wars universe, because if there is,
are mosquitoes, they're this big.
right, they're going to carry you away on Kashyyyk. There's it's like the King Kong world. Everything's huge. It has to be. Let's see. And Drayton has one more comment for us. He actually picked Kashyyyk. There we go. He said Kashyyyk, Han, Greedo, and C-3PO. We could go bow hunting and see who shoots first.
All right, John, give us your lineup. I know you're still listening. Come on.
Yeah, snap to it, Was. We know you're there. All right. So, all right.
And then
so
ask Honora what she thinks.
All right. So, Nick and Kathleen, I didn't clear this with you earlier, but I'm going to make you guys choose whose story you like the best.
Oh. Gosh.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah, putting you on the spot. Now, it could be anybody's, actually. It could be somebody from the stories, from the comments. It could be Anna's. It could be Master Allen's.
Oh, I can turn comments on, can't I? I can see the comments. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
There you go.
I'm just laughing at one of the comments that just came in, Tim. That one.
Honora doesn't care. She just wants Oreos.
She just wants Oreos. That's my
right.
girl. All right, so yeah, I don't know. This is hard. I would probably have to go with Anna's because Coruscant would be so much fun. It was my second choice planet.
Thank
right.
you, Kathleen.
Other than the fact that I don't know if I could stand traveling with C-3PO that long. I might have to power down C-3PO once in a while just so that I could think.
We've been shown how to do that.
We have.
That's right.
He knows when he's not needed and needs to shut down.
There you go. All right. So, Nick, which story did you like best?
So I think it would be super fun to go Anna's direction, but I'm actually going to go Alan's direction because I really think that combo between Lando and Thrawn,
Would
I
be
think,
fun.
yeah, and Thrawn would know enough about any area that you go to that he could basically be your tour guide and give you whatever information you need in those areas. And Lando would know all the hot spots to, be able to have fun in those places. So
Mhm.
Funny Science Fiction will be right back after a word from our sponsors. And now back to Funny Science Fiction.
All right.
We split it. That's fair. All right. Reasonable.
What about you, Tim?
Oh, I don't have to vote. Just you.
I just asked.
Dang.
Actually, I'm going to take one out of the comments. So we're going to leave it as a split between these guys. Actually, I really like Drayton's. I like Kashyyyk. I like Han and Greedo. Well, not so much the Greedo part, but I like, and C-3PO. So I like that. I think it'd be anything with Han, really. Be fun. So that's my choice.
Three-way tie.
It's a three-way tie.
It happens.
It happens from time to time.
John still hasn't told us his though.
But I think Alan's giving the win.
Oh, I have to go. I have to go too,
No,
right?
he wants to give you a fist bump.
Virtual fist bump.
Wait.
Other way.
this way.
Bingo!
There you go. And done. All right.
No, I still haven't heard an answer from my husband now.
Well, he's busy with a tiny human, so we'll let him slide if he
Tiny
can't get it
human
in.
I don't have to deal with right now.
So, yeah. So, hey, and Anna, if you can you turn up your audio just a little bit, increase your gain
yeah.
just a touch?
Oh,
So-
man. I'm so sorry because,
That's
live
okay.
stuff.
So, all right. So let's talk about some of the other things going on in the sci-fi, Star Wars, Marvel universe. So there's a lot of stuff coming up in the future here. Very, very soon. There's been some really cool trailers come out for Shang-Chi. There's been dropped, I believe it dropped today, was Venom 2.
Yeah.
Which I got to watch and I giggled about. I'm nervous about Woody Harrelson playing Carnage, but Woody Harrelson does play a good psycho, so I'm
he
sure
does.
he'll pull it off pretty well, I'm sure. But so what are your guys' thoughts on what's upcoming in the sci-fi Marvel universe?
In our nerd world.
In our nerd world. Anna, we'll start with you. Do you have anything that you're looking forward to?
I am so looking forward to Loki. I cannot wait for
Ooh.
Loki.
Mm.
No, I'm a huge Thor fan, and that's just, aside from, what I was given with the Scarlet Witch and Vision, that's gonna make my year.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've had a nice setup to see how Marvel's going to run some of these things with Scarlet Witch, with WandaVision, and then Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So we've had a nice view of what they can do, how they set things up in their shows. So I'm a little excited about Loki myself. Master Allen, what about you? What do you got? What's coming up in your neck of the woods that you're excited about?
Well, I messaged you about this earlier. I'm hyped for Shang-Chi. I'm hyped. So I've been a martial artist since 1993. I've been a martial arts instructor as a professional for a majority of my life. And everything that I wanted Iron Fist to be that I was sort of disappointed by, and we already talked about that once, so we don't have to do it all over again. And everything I wanted Iron Fist to be, I think Shang-Chi is going to be. Based on looking at the talent that they've got attached and doing a little bit of IMDb snooping and who's fight team, and some of that sort of stuff, and the way that they are filming the action for the trailer. I have wanted a Chinese opera style superhero movie since the Edward Norton Hulk came out.
Sure.
This has been something I've been salivating for. I'm really hoping that it is every bit as satisfying as we have come to expect from Marvel. In the Star Wars universe, I am really, really excited to see what video High Republic stuff they come out with, because I'm really enjoying what I've seen in High Republic so far. One of the shows they've announced is a noir detective sort of like that type of story in the High Republic, and that seems like it's going to be an awesome.
Sure.
So that I there are too many things to be excited for me to consume it all. So I don't know how much I do.
We have time. So.
It's streaming, so like it'll be there when I have time, but there's always more.
All right, excellent. Anything else you're looking forward to, Anna, or just Loki?
I mean, watching that trailer drop of all the shows, the lineup, I have to say, when I saw it, it was first thing in the morning, and I was near tears. So, I mean, I agree. Like, I'm really looking forward to Shang-Chi, and it's just the amount of content and how they've been able to do it this quickly is amazing to me. I know some people, they're like, well, when is it coming out? When is it coming? Why is it taking so long? But you can't rush shows like this. You cannot.
Right.
No.
So
but I love that they're doing shows and we don't have to wait for movies.
Yeah. Agreed. And
love that.
And I quite enjoyed WandaVision being released once a week and wanting to watch the next week and have that be my ritual with my son. Like, we would sit down on Saturday morning. I would avoid social media on Fridays, and we would just Saturday morning with our WandaVision. And that was the best.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, on the one hand, I love the fact that Disney is spacing these episodes out when they come out. On the other hand, Netflix has kind of spoiled me, and that they release everything at once, and so I get to binge. But then you know, it's one of those things where you binge, you feel dirty at the end, and then you don't know what to do anymore. Like I don't have anything else to watch. What do I do now?
There's something else though. That's the thing. Like,
when it comes to binging, there's no self-control.
Right. No, but once you're done with one episode, you're gonna go on to the next one. If there's another one available, you're gonna watch it. That's the thing. And I do like having the suspense of waiting a week to find out what's happening and why and what's going on. So that's kind of cool to me.
It is still frustrating, especially when it's like a good cliffhanger and it's but that one they couldn't do 2 episodes in a row. That would have been fine. Like,
yeah, especially
give me my answers now.
The last couple episodes of WandaVision were like that. And,
yes.
And Captain America and the Winter Soldier really had some killer cliffhangers where they set it up so perfectly. They teed it up and you weren't sure which way they were going with it. Which
Emphasis on killer. Right.
No, there's that. So we have an answer from Was finally. He's a little late.
Goodness.
All right, so here was it. I would go to Cloud City with Lando for the same reasons as Alan about Lando. Captain Phasma for security. And for my pet or my droid, K2SO for comic relief.
Is it really for security or is it for Gwendolyn Christie?
Both is a viable answer.
It is.
Both is good.
It is.
Just feel like she's a dangerous woman to have anywhere.
Yes.
Exactly. All right, and we got another comment here. Stories by Darksaber Light says, I wish that Netflix would take a page from Disney's book. I want to watch Stranger Things season 4 episodically, but I won't have any self-control if it drops all at once.
Also understandable.
Oh, yeah. My daughter and I are anxiously awaiting season 4 of Stranger Things. We have become big fans. My daughter loves 11 and is a big fan of hers, and so I love all the 80s nostalgia and the old the Russian tie-in kind of cracks me up with all the Comrade Ruski comments and all that stuff. I don't know. It's just very 80s to me, and I love it.
John and I were just scrolling through Netflix today with the what's new, because we haven't been touching Netflix for a while because we've got Disney. Who needs Netflix when you have Disney? But it was funny as we were looking through it today, and I'm like, okay, so what shows do we have to finish because we got distracted by Disney? And he's like, well, we never finished season 2 of Stranger Things. I'm like, and now we're getting ready for season 4. Wow. Okay, then. We got some up to do.
We got some watching to do.
There's an amazing scene at the end of season 3 that I absolutely loved, because, like, to me, that show feels like an RPG game almost, and like there's a scene where something happens. I don't want to spoil it for you.
No, you're fine. I'm good. I'll forget.
But, it was the never-ending story scene.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Drayton says that finished watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. He thought it was okay, but it felt like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It did, but
A bit. But there again, that's another movie that they're or something that they're using to set up movies and things coming up.
and I liked the inclusion of U.S. Agent and that like bringing him into the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to know where they go with it. Like,
Well,
I'm a little curious.
the bridge, like that's all the shows. It's how did we go from the end of this tremendous desolation
mm-hmm.
to like all of these shows are table setting to tell us what the characters have been up to, but it gets to be in a different kind of format so that it doesn't have to be a movie, and so they don't have to pack a bunch of exposition into a movie. They get to
Right.
they get the story tell about the next big villain, because USA was a small problem. He wasn't a big problem.
Right.
We don't know who the next big villain's going to be really, but that's
Because now they've got so much more they can bring in with the multiverse. There's so many more options of who the next big baddie is going to be.
Yeah.
Which
Kang.
is fun.
I've got to say, I know Star Wars and Marvel have like the big running, but I'm also looking forward to Lost in Space season 3 from Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That was
that show.
yeah. I'm like, okay, I love what they've done with this show, and I like how they like made it their own in a way, and just kind of like went with it. And I'm just like, this is awesome.
I'm still on season 1 of that show, and I'm loving it so much.
Oh,
And that's been a hard one not to binge, but I'm trying to watch it with the family. So I'm like, come on, let's do this.
right.
Get over here and watch it.
Have you guys
We'll
met?
watch Lost in Space now.
Have you met Dr. Smith yet?
Not yet.
Oh, so you're still early in the
I'm still early,
season.
really. I'm not-
Okay.
I like how Nick's like, oh, so you're still early. Mm.
That's still early.
Your mustache snob is coming out.
But please,
And
carry on.
Yeah, it would have been better had you twirled one end of your mustache as you said it. You're still early.
and that's the thing about the binging. Like you mentioned earlier that it's like, well, then I binge it and then I don't know what to do. There's so much. I'm 2 seasons behind on Cobra Kai, and Karate Kid is like a formatively important thing to me. Right? So there's always something else, because Lost in Space was fantastic. I still haven't done the 2nd season of Altered Carbon, and I'm more excited about that than I was with the first one. It took me, I didn't finish Winter Soldier until last week, and I was like 8 weeks behind on that, so I was spoiled with everything by the time I got there. But that's being a parent. I know I know some of you
I get it.
You have to choose. It's like there's certain things you get to keep, and there's certain things that you have to, because that's the nature of time. But there's so much good stuff out there, and especially as for all of us, we sort of identify as nerds or being in the nerdverse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much good sci-fi that is so available now that 10 years ago was so hard to find, because sci-fi shows have high production costs, because you have to have so much in terms of practical effects or digital effects or whatever, and for broadcast TV it was always really hard for networks or producers or whatever to kind of make the choice to do that. Like Stargate, which is now on Netflix, it had to bounce around. It found new life on Sci-Fi and went through all these reshapes and things like that. And it was holding on by its fingernails over and over and over again. And now Amazon will pick up The Expanse and give us more of that. And all of these streamers finding ways to deliver us content, because we grew up, nerds rule the world now.
I wish I wish one of the streaming services would pick up Terra Nova.
Ooh, I just thought of something I am incredibly excited about that I have not seen mentioned hardly anywhere. Okay. David Tennant is recently announced to be signed on to Maurice and His Educated Rodents.
Ooh.
If you are unfamiliar with Terry Pratchett, That's okay. I'm used to being the only person obsessed with Terry Pratchett.
Get it?
Maurice and His Educated Rodent is basically a riff on the Pied Piper tale, told from the perspective of Maurice, who is a cat, and a group of rats, and their grift is they just go from town to town, and the rats make a problem, and then the kid, who is like a non-speaking character in the story, basically pipes them out of town, and then they go on and they do it in the next town, and it's Maurice and His Educated Rodents, and this is how they. Oh, great, and I love to hear that, buddy. But so David Tennant, Hugh Laurie, Emilia Clarke, all of these people are signed onto it, and it really looks like it's going to be fantastic. There has been a lot of challenge for Terry Pratchett's Discworld stories to get translated into film, because as a storyteller, the narrator is kind of the star, and it's really difficult to do that for a visual medium. But like Good Omens was on Amazon Prime and was wildly successful. If you haven't watched that yet, it's because it's The Omen. If you accept that The Omen is a horror movie that is funny by accident, Good Omens is about the same thing. It's funny on purpose. But Maurice and His Educated Rodents, I just saw the headline about Tenet over the weekend, and I haven't figured out how to start doing TikToks on this yet. But I'm very excited about all the names that are attached. It looks like it's going to have a ton of budget for creative support and other things that his projects in the past haven't been able to have.
Right.
I think it's going to introduce a lot of people to his writing, and I'm excited about that because I want other people to love him as much as I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I just looked up the book right now, so I'm gonna get that and read that. Thank you for that tip.
You'll knock it out in an afternoon. It's very short. It's an independent reader, young adult kind of like age range, and so it's not gonna change your worldview, but it's interesting. It's entertaining, and like
Right.
it's a great spend an afternoon binging a book.
No, I'll read it to my kids. I find one of the best ways to prepare. I don't do audiobooks, but I really want to, especially young adult. And after I read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings to my daughter out loud, I was just hooked on reading to them out loud. So any chance that they will let me read out loud and do all the character voices, I will do it.
Would
There
it
you go.
be intrusive to ask you how old your daughter is? I don't want to pry.
Oh, sure. She's 11. And so I started reading The Hobbit to her when she was, so she was about 9.5. And I had read Harry Potter to her, and she just couldn't latch on. She just couldn't find what she wanted in Harry Potter. So we read The Hobbit, and I said, do you want to go back to Harry Potter? And she said, no, I want to read those Rings books. I was like, right on, let's do it. So we took
Absolutely.
It was a good 1.5 year long process because we didn't read every day, but
It's so
highly recommend it.
Here's a book for you, Anna. The
Yeah.
Princess Bride.
Oh yeah,
Good
of
book.
course. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is I remember reading that so many times in high school because I had the book or the movie memorized. But I should get that book for my kids because there's something different when you read it versus watching the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My husband read The Hobbit to our daughter, which, I mean, she's 2.5. It's not like she really cares at this point. And I think he actually started reading it when I was pregnant. So he was reading it to my belly.
Wow.
But
I like that.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun as he's, especially like the scenes with Gollum and Bilbo, and he's just like bouncing between the two voices. Because my husband's a GM for our role-playing game. So it's like he's good with doing voices, and he struggled so much with that scene. And he got done reading that night. He's like, I need a break. I'm like, that was awesome.
I would pay to watch Was do that.
Oh my word. I need to get it on video. I need to get it on video.
The Hogfather that just got referenced. One of the things about Terry Pratchett books is that you can tell somebody everything about the book and it provides them absolutely no context about what to expect from reading it.
Oh, exactly.
The Hogfather is a group of extraplanar entities assassinate Santa Claus. So Death puts on the outfit and takes his place for the night so that people will continue to believe in Santa Claus so that the sun will come up.
What? That's crazy.
I would need to invent new words to adequately describe how many things about life that book taught me.
Wow.
But this, and to circle back, I realized I sort of kicked this off with the question about The Hobbit and some other things. A book that you and your daughter and the rest of your family will very likely enjoy, same author, is called The We Free Men.
Okay. We Free Men.
Okay. Tiffany Aching is a 9-year-old girl, and her brother is kidnapped by fairies. And so she storms fairyland with a cast iron frying pan and her new sidekicks, the We Free Men, who are kind of like the Smurfs, except they've seen Blade many times. And so if you need to dynamically switch between accents, you go from Tiffany, who's got sort of the chalk accent from Great Britain, and then you slide into the Feagles, who are the We Free Men. And they have names like Rob Anybody, which is both a name and a description, and Wee Billy Big Chin, and things like that. And it's I have no words.
Oh,
That sounds awesome.
The We Free Men.
I'll order that right now. I gotta go order that. Hold on.
Yes.
That sounds amazing. And
She's
like, I'll be right
my
back.
daughter has a little brother, so that it's like happening.
Would she actually save him from fairies, though?
She would, if it came down
Okay.
to it. She may claim to despise him and say, "Hey, you're the most annoying human on earth," but I know how she really feels.
Was also
I see
for
her.
human.
That is the thing about siblings is you are the most annoying person on earth, but you're also my closest kidney donor.
But yeah, that's true.
I love you and I would give you my
Need
kidney,
him
but you
someday.
can't have my phone charger. Like that is sibling relationship in a nutshell.
You can tell
There's
when
a
he's doing something unsafe and she's like, "Stop that!" and she barks at him. I'm like, "Oh, she cares."
She does love him.
Keeping him safe.
For anybody unfamiliar with Pratchett, he does lots of allusions to other pop culture and things like that. The Time Bandit crew is a wonderful, that paints the picture that is what to expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of overlap between those movies. There's a little bit of like the labyrinth to it as well for like probably obvious reasons. The fact that you get to practice doing Scottish accents of various variety is one of my favorite parts about the book and my favorite part about the audiobook.
Well, of course, yes, that would work for me as well. I was lucky enough to play Billy Boyd's sister in a video game for Magic the Gathering, and there was nothing more nerve-wracking than trying to be Scottish in front of someone who's actually Scottish. So, but it was a great session, and he was amazing, and we sort of agreed on a fantasy accent. So at times, when you're too Scottish, you can't understand, and you want the players to understand. And so he was laying back off of his own accent, which I thought was awesome. I was like, oh, okay. If he says we can do it, then I can do it.
Right.
I don't have to roll all the R's. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we've only got a couple minutes left here. You guys have been awesome, and I have enjoyed this conversation so very much. Was why are all dwarves Scottish in fantasy media?
They just
It's J.R.R. Tolkien's fault.
yeah.
Because they should be.
Because it's fun.
The elves were Welsh, though. The Rohan were the Angles, and the dwarves were the Scots. It's Tolkien's fault. That is the root of that. Like,
all right, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So, just want to real quickly thank each of you guys for being with us tonight and putting up with our little bit of a live show insanity. It's always kind of a hit or miss of who gets to talk and when and how and all that fun stuff, but you guys jumped in nicely.
It's hard when Tim is here.
It's hard when Tim doesn't know how to talk right. And Tim was having a hard time talking right tonight. So, So let's take a minute, if we can, and have each of you just tell people where they can find out more about you, find out, Master Allen, about your lightsabers and things like that. So, Anna, we started earlier with Master Allen, so we'll start this time early with you. So tell everybody a little bit about the Anna Graves.
Oh, me? You want like my bio?
Little old me.
I'm a voice actor. That's what I do. And please, come follow me on Instagram. I'm Gravy Pick, and on Twitter I'm Gravy Voice. And I try to keep up with talking about the things I'm working on, but I don't always. But I also am always good up for a healthy conversation about all this good sci-fi stuff that we're talking about, and Marvel and Star Wars. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I grew up a Star Wars fan, so getting to voice characters like the Duchess Satine and Sugi, and doing Clone Wars and Rebels, and voicing Princess Leia in Disney Infinity, it's just like a dream come true. That's the icing on the cake of what is my career as an actor.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and if you have any questions about anything that Anna's been involved with, please go to imdb.com and blow your own mind. Trust me, there's so many references there. And Drayton says, thank you for showing our cup. Hope you enjoyed his book. So, all right, Master Allen.
I'm gonna forgo my time to ask Anna a question, actually, if you guys don't.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know you've had a very storied career as a voice actor. Is there anything that you've got, like somebody that you've gotten to work with that sort of had more time in the industry that you had at the time, that gave you something that sort of stands out as that was a really useful thing for me to kind of hold on to and keep in my pocket? I'm fascinated by the way that your work works and the tools and everything else.
Thank you for the question. That's a great question. And it is absolutely Corey Burton. I worked with Corey on the Clone Wars. We did a lot of episodes together. He is a lovely human being and a very talented voice actor. And I respect the amount of range that he had. And so when we would work together, he has. But on many occasions, he would, we would talk about the art of voicing, the art of voice acting. And it's not about what you sound like. It's about what you can do with that. It's not about what you naturally sound like. It's about what you can do with your instrument. Mm-hmm. It's about who you are as an actor and what you add to that character. And that was so incredibly helpful for me, because Star Wars: The Clone Wars was my first animated series that I worked on. And it was the type of show where after I played the Duchess Satine, they continued to call me and had me come in and play multiple roles, and we would collaborate. And that was the best part, was I would come in, read the script, and say to the supervising director or who, to Dave Filoni, who is this person? What do you want her to sound like? And we would collaborate on that. We would create her in the studio. And it wasn't just a cut and dry, get in and get out kind of a process. And so Corey Burton was a huge influence at that time for me, and I will forever be grateful to him.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Level Up Lightsaber, guys. My link is all over the thing. If you found this podcast, you can find a way to find me.
We'll actually have a link for Level Up Lightsabers in the comment sections on everywhere this video has been posted, so they'll be able to search through that.
Can we show the video one more time, though?
Yeah, we got time. We have 2 minutes, so this takes 30 seconds. Why not?
Do it.
One video. I think every time I watch that, I find something else I find
I'm
really
never
cool
going to
about
get
the
sick of
video.
that video.
I just noticed what happened to the side of her face.
When she became a Sith.
The
It was taking over.
The evil, the bad, the everything was taken over. It was just really cool. So
maybe it's old dragon fire burns that are shows up thanks to lightsabers.
Lost, I strongly recommend a lacrosse glove and a cup.
there you go.
It is 3 feet tall, so a cup is
advice.
necessary anyway.
You're gonna get whacked here, like more than anywhere else. So lacrosse glove and a cup. And
There you go. You're all
Good
set.
plan.
And when they get taller, you need throat protection.
There you go.
I think
All right. So
I think it was Tim that shared the Frida underpants when we had Honora. There are underpants with a cup built in for fathers. It's funny.
There you go. All right, guys, we are out of time. I just want to say quickly to Anna, thank you so much for being here tonight. We have enjoyed being with you again. Master Allen, thank you so much for being here. Your episode will be airing in just a couple weeks on Funny Science Fiction, and everybody will get to learn more about you and all your awesomeness. But we have to say our goodbyes because we have another show coming on the Scene Snobs channel momentarily. So let's say our goodbyes real quick.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FunnySci-Fi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.